today's Amud is Daf Tet Amud Bet. We are holding on. It's gonna be too big. I think this is. Okay, today's Daf is Daf Tet Amud Aleph. So it's a short Amud. Daf Tet Amud Tet Amud Bet. It's a very short Amud, but it's not an easy Amud at all. Yeah. We're on the bottom. We're by where it says Amar Le Levi Le Rebbe. So we're going back to our Mishnah now. Our Mishnah listed 15 different arayot that a person is not allowed to do yibum or chalitza with. Not only them, but also their co-wives. So Amar Le Levi Le Rebbe, Levi said to Rebbe, my area tani tet vav. How come we only list 15? Lidni tet zayin. We should list 16. There should be another one. So already, before even hearing what it is, Rebbe knew what he was going to say, and he answered back harshly. He said, Amar le, kamdumali she'en lo moach bekodkodo. He said, it seems to me like you don't have a brain. You don't have any brain in your head. What type of, you think I didn't know what I was doing when I wrote 15? You think I should put 16?
Where we are?
On the bottom of Daf Tet Amud Aleph.
I know where.
First word on the line is li, over here.
Okay.
Didn't we have this idea already? 15 or why 15?
No, we said why list a number if you're listing the amount of people. Levi is asking there should be an additional one. So my area, my data. What are you thinking? Imo anusat aviv. You're thinking one of the ervas should be his mother, someone who his father was me'anes. So how would that case look like?
What do you mean his father is me'anes?
So okay, let's take a look at the board over here. Okay, so you have this guy, yeah. You have this guy, Yaakov. Yaakov is married to this woman. They're married and they have a son, Reuven, over here. Okay, Yaakov also he raped this woman, and he had a son over here.
Zona.
Yes. So these two guys are brothers. Okay, they're brothers. They're none of them are mamzerim or anything like that. They're both good. This one is his mother, and this one is his mother. Now, this guy also marries this woman. Now, it's not his father's wife. Okay, good. So we have a machloket whether this guy is allowed to marry this woman. But no, he marries her. Okay, so when this guy marries this woman, he dies, and then she falls to Yibum. Now, she's his mother. She cannot do Yibum to him. So because you see the red, that means she's an erva. The red, spray paint, whatever, erva, and then the co-wife also. Since she's an erva, she cannot do Yibum. Co-wife also cannot do Yibum. So this is the case that Levi wants to add. Okay? So it's basically the brother marries Anusat Aviv, the person who his wife was Ma'anes, who's the mother of his brother. So Levi wants to add this case. They share a father. For Yibum, that's all we care about. That they share a father. Okay?
Would that be included as Yibum?
Wait, what does that mean he does Yibum? He has a son, so...
This guy. This dead guy, his brother is here. So this person died without children. Okay. And then these two wives of his, I see. Her and her, fall to Yibum to him. So he can't do Yibum to any one of them. Once one of them is an erva, they're all off limits. Now the problem is this case is a machloket, because whether Reuven could marry somebody that his father raped is a machloket. Exactly. Rabbi Yehuda says asur, Chachamim says mutar. So this is a machloket whether this is allowed. So Rebbe responds. He says, "This is the case you want to add. Imo anusat aviv, plukta de Rabbi Yehuda b'Rabbanan. This is a machloket. Plukta lo kamayri, and I don't include machlokets. When I wrote the Mishnah, when I put together the Mishnah, I didn't include any machloket." So the Gemara responds and he says, "What are you talking about? Velo, you didn't include any machloket. Hari isur mitzvah ve isur kedusha, de pligi Rabbi Akiva Rabbanan vekatani. you did put machlokets. Now I don't want to get into what isur mitzvah and isur kedusha are. We don't have enough time to explain the cases. But the point is, they're cases that are brought down later on in the next perek that that they are machloket, and Rebbe still wrote them in the Mishnah, even though it's not according to everybody. It's not lekule alma. So the Gemara and Rebbe answers, no, bepirkin ka'amrinan. I'm talking about in our perek. In our perek, in this first perek of Yevamot, these cases, there's no machloket. So the Gemara says, what are you talking about? Sure, there's machloket. The whole point of this is, if we list machloket, then we should also list this case. So the Gemara says, Va Beit Shammai matirin et atzarot la'achin u'Beit Hillel osrin. The whole concept of the co-wife being asur is a machloket. It's a machloket Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel. So you're telling me that there's no machloket. There is machloket. So the Gemara says no. Beit Shammai b'mkom Beit Hillel eina mishneh. Beit Shammai, it doesn't count as a machloket. We know Beit Hillel halacha is always like Beit Hillel. When we list Beit Shammai together with Beit Hillel, that's not eno mishnah. That's not considered bringing a machloket. Gemara says okay. V'harei eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. So just to remind ourselves, eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. This case, okay. So you have Reuven and Shimon are brothers. They're alive at the same time. Reuven was married to this woman Esther. Okay? Now Reuven dies, and this woman falls to Yibum, and then this brother is born. Okay? After Reuven dies, this brother is born. Okay? This woman is never allowed to do Yibum to Levi. Even after she does Yibum to this brother, to Shimon, and he dies, she's not allowed to do Yibum to Levi.
One lady could do Yibum 2 times?
No, Levi never did. Oh, there's only one Yibum here. Meaning, Reuven died, and then his brother Shimon did Yibum. When Shimon dies, Levi is not allowed to do Yibum.
No, I said the lady...
Oh, the lady could do Yibum 100 times, yeah. That make a difference. What's it called? So Reuven dies, Shimon marries her, he does Yibum. Levi is not allowed to marry her. Now, the question is, what if Shimon already did Yibum, and then Levi was born, and then Shimon dies? Meaning, is the halacha of Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Ba'olamo, when this guy is born, before she does Yibum, or is it he's born even after she does Yibum? Because there's a word we're gonna have to become familiar with. There's something called zika. What's zika? When a woman's husband dies, she has a zika. She has a connection to the brothers, right? So the question is, until someone does Yibum, the zika is there. So do we say that when Reuven dies, she has a zika to Shimon, and no zika to Levi because he wasn't born yet, and then once he's born, he's asur to her? But if Shimon did Yibum to her, and then Levi was born, then she never was a Shomeret Yavam during the time of Levi's life. So this is going to be a machloket. So we're gonna.
But if Shimon give the chalitza to the girl,
then that's it. She's out. That's a different story. She's out.
She's out of the family.
Yeah. No, right. So v'harei eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. The Gemara says this is a machloket also. The pligi, Rabbi Shimon and Rabbanan. Rabbi Shimon and Rabbanan have a machloket about this case. Vekatani, and we listed in our Mishnah. So the Gemara says no. Ben olad ulsof yibem. Lo pali, Rabbi Shimon. In a case where Levi was born first, and then this woman did Yibum to the brother, Rabbi Shimon doesn't argue. Everybody agrees in this case. The Gemara says, Amar Rabbi Yoshia, Chalukaya Rabbi Shimon af barishona. The Gemara says, Rabbi Shimon also argued on that case. The Gemara says, no, how you taught that Rabbi Yoshia? Rabbi Yoshia was he was answered. meaning at the end of the day, there's no machloket about a regular case where this Ruvain dies and then Levi is born and then Shimon does Yibum. Everyone will agree to that case, and that's why it's in the Mishnah. It's not a machloket.
Everyone will agree that what's the halacha?
That this boy, this Levi, is an Eshet Ach Shelo Haya Ba'olamo. She is an erva to him, and she doesn't do Yibum. Her co-wife doesn't do Yibum. None of it.
If he's born before Shimon does Yibum, that wouldn't that be a stronger svar for him to have Zika to the wife?
Well, there was not really, because at that time when he was born into her being an erva, because there was no Zika to him. But when he's born after she's already done Yibum, the first time he's entering her life, she could potentially be with him if this one dies. Okay, so now the Gemara, this is where the Gemara gets a little bit, you thought this was confusing. This is where the Gemara gets a little bit confusing. V'amar Rav Yehuda, Amar Rav Nachman, v'chein tani Rav Chia, bekulan ani koreh bahen ha'asura lezeh muteret lezeh, v'asura lezeh muteret lezeh. Okay, so for this background, okay, so the background is the Mishnayot later on talk about two brothers that are married to two sisters. Okay? So this general case, you have 4 brothers up here. 2 of them are married to 2 sisters. Both of them die. They both die at the same time. So these 2 sisters fall to Yibum. There's a Zika from each one, this one to this one, and each one has a Zika to both brothers. This lady has a Zika to both brothers, and this lady has a Zika to both brothers. Rachel and Leah. Right? She's connected to either one, and she's connected to either one. Problem is that none of them could do Yibum. Why? Because there's an Isur of, just like there's an Isur of being with your wife's sister, there's an Isur of Achot Zekukato, being with the sister of somebody who has a Zika to you. So Reuven can't be with, this brother can't be with this woman, because the sister of his Zekuka, she has a Zika to him, he can't be with her sister.
Both of them has a Zika.
Yes, and both of them are sisters of somebody who has a Zika to him. So both of them are not allowed to be with him, and both of them are not allowed to be with him because they're both sisters of somebody who has a Zika to him. So 2 brothers marry 2 sisters. They both fall to Yibum. They can't marry each other. Now,
is that if they die at the same time?
Yeah, they both died before anyone did any Yibum.
Meaning they were both in
It
the
doesn't have to be exact same time. They both died before anybody did Yibum. Now, let's make it a little bit more interesting. These 2 sisters are also mother-in-laws of the other 2 brothers. Okay?
The brother married their daughters.
So they married their mother, meaning you have Reuven, Shimon, Levi, and Yehuda. So here's Shimon and Yehuda. These 2 brothers are Shimon and Yehuda. Okay? They married a mother and a daughter. Shimon married a girl, and it's different, meaning he's not.
The daughter is not from the family of the.
Yeah, there was a mother and daughter, and they were both single. Shimon married the mother, and Yehuda married the daughter. And then over here also, Reuven and Levi, they also found a mother and a daughter that were both single. Reuven married the mother, and Levi married the daughter. So these 2 women are sisters. They're also ervas to, this woman is Yehuda's mother-in-law, and this woman is Levi's mother-in-law. Now in this case, it's very different, because when these 2 brothers die, we say ha'asura lezeh muteret lezeh. Okay, the one that's asur to this one, this is his mother-in-law, so there's no zika here. So he's muteret to her, and this one, she is asura to him, right? Because there's no zika, it's his mother-in-law. She's muteret to him. So you have 2 brothers marrying 2 sisters, and these 2 sisters are both ervas of the living brothers. So we say the one that's asur to one brother is mutar to the other one. So Yehuda could marry Rachel, and Leah could marry Levi, because they could do Yibum. Yeah, because there's no sister of a Zekuka anymore, because there's no Zika, because she's an erva. Okay, so now this happens to be a case of mother-in-law. So we have a machloket
But the mother
whether we
not
can do this with
have
all
a
the
daughter.
cases.
She already has a kid.
Yeah, but we don't care about if the woman has a kid. We care if the man dies without children.
Oh.
If a man marries a woman who already has children and he dies without children, there's still yibum.
So the mothers came into the marriage with the previous child.
Yes. Yes. Okay, so Va'amar Rav Yehuda Amar Rav V'chein Tani Rav Chia Bekulan, with all the arayot of our Mishnah. So we had Bito, Bat Beno, his wife's daughter, his wife's granddaughter, his mother-in-law, all of the cases of our Mishnah. Ani kore bahen asura lezeh muter lezeh. I can have a case where these two sisters are that erva. Meaning, over here we did chamoto, mother-in-law. These two women are the mother-in-laws of him and the mother-in-law of him. Now, he's saying with all these cases, we could fit in all 15 arayot in this case. Okay, meaning, what's the first one? Bito, daughter. So how do we fit it in? So let's here. So here you have the case of Bito. Okay, so these two brothers, Reuven and Shimon, they both raped this woman, and they both had
Raped?
yeah. They both raped this woman because if they marry her, they both can't marry her. So you can't both have daughters from the same woman unless it was out of wedlock. So we want to make these two girls have to be sisters because we want two brothers to marry two sisters. So these two girls are sisters, and they're both daughters. One is a daughter of Reuven, one is a daughter of Shimon. So it has to be the case is Reuven and Shimon both raped this woman. Reuven has a daughter Rachel, Shimon has a daughter Leah, and their brothers marry. Levi marries Rachel, and this brother Yehuda marries Leah. Okay?
Zigzag.
Yeah. So now there's a right when Reuven dies, or I'm sorry, when this guy Yehuda dies, she is an erva to him, but she's muteret to him. Right? The green means she's muteret to him, and she is an erva to him.
No, they both died already.
These two.
No, the two middle ones.
No, they're alive. They're the living ones. Their daughters married their brothers. Then they died. Levi and Yehuda died. So these two sisters are falling to Yibum, to these two brothers. But generally when two sisters fall to Yibum to two brothers, we say, no, you have to do Chalitza, no Yibum. But in this case, since she is an erva to him, and she is an erva to him, they're allowed to marry the opposite one. They're allowed
The
to
father-in-law. Yeah.
No, it's his daughter through a woman that he
The
raped.
other two is their son or the brothers?
The brother is also his father-in-law. These two brothers, they're all brothers.
All four brothers.
Yes. Okay, so v'chein tani Rebbe Chia, we have to try to finish. V'chein tani Rebbe Chia, bekulan ani koreh bahen ha'asura lezeh muteret lezeh v'ha'asura lezeh muteret lezeh v'achota shehi yivimta choletzet o mityavemet. So in all of these cases, he says I could fit all 15 arayot into this case and make it that the lady who's asura to one brother is muteret to the other brother, and the other lady who's asura to the other brother is muteret to the first brother, and they could do yibum and not chalitza. Okay. Rav Yehuda metargem mechamoto veilach. Rav Yehuda says that it's from mother-in-law onwards you could fit the cases into our Mishnah. Aval shita bave dereisha, but the first 6 cases of our Mishnah, daughter, granddaughter, daughter, wife's daughter, all those first 6 cases, lo, you can't fit into our Mishnah. My ta'ama, why not? Kevan debito beonsin mishkachat, binsuin lo mishkachat la. The case of bito, daughter, has to be a case of rape. There's no other way to make it that 2 brothers married the same woman. It has to be a case of anusa, of onsin, of rape. So binusin ukin kamairi, beonsin lo kamairi. Rabbi Chia says, or the way Rabbi Yehuda is understanding it, he says that it won't. Our Mishnah is not going to be including cases of rape. Therefore, when Rabbi Chia said that we can have these cases of 2 sisters marrying two brothers and they're both ervas, we're not talking about the first 6 cases of our Mishnah, because that would have to be a case of rape. That's not what we're talking about. Va'abaye mitargem af bito manusato. Abaye says even a case of rape would be included, and therefore it could be all of them. Kevan dashkuchi mishkachat la ibaye mina unsin tiyave ibaye mina nisuin tiyave. Since it's possible to have the case, so it could be either from onsin or from nisuin, meaning some of the cases in the Mishnah could include scenarios of rape, and therefore you could have bito, where these 2 daughters are 2 sisters, and they're each one is a daughter of one of the brothers, and they married the other 2 brothers. Okay. Aval, but eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. Yeah, this is the case. Let me find it. Yeah, here. Eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. Lo, that case you can't have with 2 sisters marrying 2 brothers and there being a scenario of Eshet Achiv Shelo Haya Ba'olamo. Why? Kevan del Rabbi Shimon hu de mishkachat la, l'Rabbanan lo mishkachat la. This case will only exist according to Rabbi Shimon, not according to Rabbanan. And beplukta lo kamairi. We're not talking about a case of a machloket. We're going to read to finish the Gemara and explain just the Gemara, and then we'll come back and explain this case. Rav Safra metargem af eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo. Rav Safra says no, even eshet achiv shelo lo haya ba'olamo could fit into our Mishnah. Mishkachat la b'shita achim v'aliv de Rabbi Shimon, and you could have a case where there's going to be 6 brothers, and it's only going to work according to Rabbi Shimon. We're going to explain what this means in a minute. V'simanech med nolad v'yabam, med nolad v'yabam. So Ella, rather the Gemara says, basically the Gemara is asking the question that we do include machloket. If you say that you have to have that the cases of 2 sisters marrying 2 brothers fit all of the arayot in our Mishnah, so then there is a machloket, because the only way you could have 2 sisters marrying 2 brothers and it fitting eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo would only be according to Rabbi Shimon. We're going to explain why in a moment, but that only would work according to Rabbi Shimon. Therefore, there's no way of listing it unless we're listing machloket also. So the Gemara says, and if we're listing machloket, then we should list imo, the case of the mother, where the guy where the person's mother felt him to yibum. So Ella rather says the Gemara, Rebbe hani klali leidle. Rebbe doesn't hold of these klali, meaning Rebbe doesn't hold that it has to fit eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo in the Mishnah, and therefore we're talking about a case where everyone agrees and there's no machloket. Now we'll B'ezrat Hashem try to go over this tomorrow. I know it's a very short amud, very not an easy amud, but the case of eshet achiv shelo haya ba'olamo is like this. So you have
4
these,
brothers.
there's 6 brothers, but right now there's 4 that are alive. Okay, so you have this one here and this one. You have Reuven is here and Shimon is here. Reuven marries this woman. Shimon marries this woman. Okay, Reuven dies, and then Levi is born. Or here, this brother, Yisachar is born. Okay, so Reuven dies, then Yisachar is born, and then Levi does Yibum. So now this woman is Asura to Yisachar, because he's Eshet Ach Shelo Haya Ba'olamo of this woman. Then Shimon dies. Shimon dies, then Zivulun is born. So this woman is going to be Eshet Ach Shelo Haya Ba'olamo of Zivulun. But according to Rabbi Shimon, this woman is muteret to Levi, because Levi was already born when she died, and this woman is going to be muteret to Zivulun, because even though Zivulun was born after she fell to Yibum, but she had already done Yibum to Levi before Zevulun was born. And therefore, according to Rabbi Shimon, that would be allowed. Zevulun would be allowed to marry this one, and Yisachar would be allowed to marry this one. But not according to Rabbi Shimon, it would be a problem, because Zevulun was born after she lost her original husband, therefore she would be Asura to Zivulun according to Chachamim. So only way you could have a case of Eshet Ach Shelo Haya Balomo, where the two brothers married to two sisters and they fall to Yibum to these two, is according to Rabbi Shimon. So that's what the Gemara is pointing out. Only according to Rabbi Shimon that could be worked out. Then it's a machloket. The Gemara said no. Rabbi doesn't hold of this whole idea that all the arayot in our Mishnah have to fit these cases. Therefore, that's why Rabbi did not include Imo, because he held Beplukta Lo Kamari. We're not including any machloket. We still have we're still not done with this sugya, but Be'ezrat Hashem the rest for tomorrow. Okay, these are not easy. Yeah, not